Hello and welcome to this English lesson. My name is Stuart. In today's lesson, we're looking at how we use such in English. Let's go to the intro. Now, as I said before, today's objective is to look at how we use such in English. And the first thing we're going to look at is using such plus adjective plus noun in order to mean high degree. Now, such can be used before nouns or before noun phrases, and normally such comes before the noun or before the article, okay, in this type of phrase. Now, let's have a look at some examples. So the first one is, we had a bad time in Greece. I've never had such a bad holiday. Okay, I've never had such a bad holiday. I've never had a bad holiday to that extent. Okay, the next one is, I have never met such rude people. Maybe you go to a party and the majority of the people are quite rude and you want to emphasize that, so you would say, I've never met such rude people. Okay, again. And Jill has such blue eyes. Does she wear contact lenses? Because you're surprised at how blue her eyes are, so you ask whether she uses contact lenses because her eyes are so blue, or she has such blue eyes. Okay? Now the second example is such, meaning like this or like that, and it can also be similar to very. Okay? Now let's have a look at the first example. Somebody says that they have a bad cold, so I have a very bad cold. And then you reply, how did you get such a bad cold? How did you get such a bad cold? Okay, so we wouldn't use very in this sentence here. We would replace very with such. Okay, how did you get such a bad cold? Okay, now the next one. Rob and Maria are good friends. Such friends are hard to find. Or friends like this, such friends are hard to find. Okay? And the last one, Donald is such a clown. Now this is informal use, so you can say he's such an idiot, he's such a clown, he's such a stupid person. Okay? Informal use, so be careful with that one. Now the next example is using such with as, meaning for example, okay, or we use it in examples in sentences. So for example, try to eat more blue fish such as tuna and sardines. Okay, try to eat more blue fish, for example, tuna and sardines. So such as tuna and sardines. Now the second example that I'm going to show you here, the shop sells many famous brands. Okay, somebody makes that statement. The shop sells many famous brands. And it's quite common nowadays to hear people reply such as, meaning for example. So the shop sells many famous brands, such as what? Okay, and then you would talk about the famous brands that shop sells. Okay, so if it's a clothes shop, maybe it sells famous brands like Ralph Lauren or Tommy Hilfiger or some of those famous brands. So, such as. And the last one on this whiteboard is such, the such, that structure. Look at the example. It was such a bad movie that we left the cinema. Okay, so we're giving this as a result of the bad film. So it was such a bad movie that we left the cinema. Now I'm going to clean this off and I'll show you some other examples in a minute. Okay, I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, back again. Now the final things I'm going to show you are a couple of ways that we can also use such. And the first one is as such, meaning in the exact sense of the word. So for example, are you staying in a hotel? I wouldn't call it a hotel as such. Okay, I wouldn't really call it a hotel. I wouldn't call it a hotel as such. It's more like a hostel or some type of motel maybe, not a hotel. So I wouldn't call it a hotel as such. The second example is such and such, meaning not specified. Look at the examples. Last night I was talking to such and such about whatever. They told me I had to be there by such and such a date, so we're not specifying the exact person or the exact date, okay? Such and such. And the last one is and such, meaning similar things. Look at the example. I like all mountain activities, hiking, climbing, skiing, and such, meaning the similar things that you can do in the mountains, you know, activities that you can do in the mountains like hiking, climbing, skiing, and such. So you could add other things there, or people get the impression that you mean other mountain sporting activities. Okay? Now, thank you very much for watching. Remember that if you have a comment, please leave it below. And don't forget to share this video on social media, Facebook, Google+, Twitter, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Have a good day. Bye.